Good morning. Welcome to the Community for Conscious Living weekly live broadcast. Today is Sunday, August 21st of 2022. The Community for Conscious Living is a community dedicated to personal transformation for universal harmony, healing the planet by making inspired changes in ourselves and in our daily lives to create a sustainable environment and a peaceful world. Today, our topic is we're going to hear a cosmic outlook from our special guest and my dear friend and spiritual seeker, Amina Deborah Lewis. Full disclosure, she had something come up and is not able to be here live for the whole time today, so we pre-recorded her segment. So I'm going to lead us through a guided centering, grounding meditation, the intro meditation to get us together and to get us started. I'm going to play her recording, and then I'll guide us through an exercise at the end. And I'm very excited about it. Actually, it's right in line with what we've been doing and bringing it into what's happening in the cosmos that is supporting us, and where can we put our focus to really get us in line and in sync with the cosmic movement, the cosmic evolution. So let's go ahead and come into our meditation and healing circle. Let's come into our circle sitting side by side, shoulder to shoulder, elbow to elbow, knee to knee, coming together as one. In the name of the one most merciful, ever compassionate, we call on you. We ask you to send your vibration of your pure divine light. And I want to invite you to just turn your face and all of your senses to face toward the center of our circle, straight ahead for you. And take a breath and bring your heart center, that funnel of energy at the front of your heart space, bring that to face directly into the center of our circle as well. So everything is facing forward. And breathe all of your energy into the core of your body. And as you exhale, let yourself drop down and land into your hips. And bring your hara, that ball of energy at the front of your belly space, bring that to face toward the center of our circle also. And let everything come to face center. And just imagine that pure divine light streaming down right in front of you, right in front of your face, in front of your heart, in front of your belly. This presence of pure divine light. And let it meet your pores, your skin, all of your sensory organs, your eyes, your ears, your nose, your mouth. Let it just meet everything. Let it meet your heart. Let it meet your belly. Just let it meet everything, and let your entire being absorb this pure divine light through your pores and into your cells, into your electrical system, your nervous system, your energy body, your physical body. Let everything absorb this pure divine light. And just let your heart center again face toward the center. Breathe in that light. And again, let's call on our source together. In the name of the one most merciful, ever compassionate, we call on you. We ask you to send your vibration of your unconditional love. Just feel this stream of clean water, pure, clean water streaming in and carrying this vibration, this feeling of unconditional love, this love that is love, that is love, that is love, regardless of any conditions that we may hold around love, whether we're able to receive it or give it or be it or have worthiness of it. None of that matters to love itself. That is all from our humanity, from our ego, from our human condition, which is designed to be. But the love, let's tune into the love and just receive the love. Regardless of conditions, let it flow. Let it be. And just imagine that funnel of energy from the front of your heart space and let it just tip up slightly and catch that stream of unconditional love as it flows in, and let it flow in to your heart center. Use your breath like a breathing portal and breathe it in, breathing in that pure divine light and unconditional love, breathing it into your heart center. And as you exhale, blow out, release the tension, release the clutter, release the constriction. Let all of that go from your heart space. You can give some tapping around your heart, around your chest. And blow out again. Just let any of that tension release. Let it go. And just inhale in that pure divine light and unconditional love. And as you do, let yourself upright your spine so that your center of your head, and that's the very center. If you imagine your head as a ball and you have side to side, front to back, right in the center, it's about where your pineal gland is. Just let that center, like feel that center and let it line up vertically with the center of your heart. And again, the center that is halfway front to back, halfway side to side. And just let that make a straight line down the center of your body. And feel that electricity, that circuitry running through your vertical core between your head and your heart. That pure divine light and unconditional love. And again, lengthen your spine and upright your spine and feel that circuitry go all the way down through the center channel of your body. And let it connect in with your sacral center. Again, halfway front to back, halfway side to side, right in the center of your pelvic bowl. And feel that electricity moving along that center channel from head to heart to the sacral center, and from sacral center to heart to head. And breathe all of your energy, draw all the parts of yourself into this vertical core. As you exhale, let yourself drop down and land into your pelvic bowl. Really take a seat into your seat, ground into your hips. And one more time, calling on our source. One more time in this second, and the next second, and the next second. Always calling on our source. In the name of the one most merciful, ever compassionate, we call on you. We ask you to send your vibration of your eternal compassion. And as you breathe in this pure divine light and unconditional love, let yourself rest into this ocean of compassion. The eternal compassion is the divine cosmic womb that contains all of our creation. All of our creation contained in this cosmic womb of divine, eternal compassion. And eternal only means that it exists beyond our perspective of time and space. Our finite existence in this time and space realm is contained within an eternal ocean, an ocean of divine compassion that does not recognize the time and space dimension as a limiting factor, as we do here. So let yourself just rest into this all-encompassing, eternal compassion that knows no time and space and is ever present and always available for you to float into. As the poet Rumi says, these forms we seem to be are cups floating in an ocean of living consciousness. Right? These bodies, they're open cups floating in an ocean of living consciousness. What we are is ocean, too near to see, though we swim in it and drink it in. So let yourself float, rest. Don't be the cup with the dry rim, he says. Don't be the cup with the dry rim. Let yourself drop in, absorb this light, drink in this unconditional love and rest, float, swim, surf in this ocean of eternal compassion. Okay. Now I want to introduce my friend Amina Deborah Lewis. She is a longtime seeker of she's a student of Sufism. She's a seeker of the esoteric and loves to study the sciences and the metaphysics and all of that wonderful stuff that I love as well. And when she and I get together, we can talk for hours on this stuff and just go to these places we both love to hang out. And I know that most of you who are here listening, who are here live, are also love swimming in those places and exploring those places. So I'm really excited. You know, I quote a lot from the book, Divine Names, 99 Healing Names of the One Love by Rosina Fauzia Al-Rawi. She is the daughter-in-law of my spiritual teacher. And Amina Deb has spent a lot of time studying directly with her. She's heavily influenced by the works of Ibn Arabi and very much, you know, in the way that Amani Shalaby and I are doing in the Ocean of Sound program, tying in sacred sound to, you know, like awakening our awareness and knowledge to the relationship between sacred sound and the cosmos, and the the phases of the moon and the position of the earth within the cosmos, and the everything all the way down to the chemical makeup of our bodies. So there's so much to be explored there. Amina Deb studied directly with Fauzia, who is very much a channel of that work, if she doesn't mind. Hope she doesn't mind me saying it that way, and has incredible knowledge. And Amina has a unique perspective on astrology. And so I love when she gets on that channel, when she's on that radio wave, on that frequency, and sharing that information. So let me go ahead and begin that recording, play that for you. And at the end of this recording, we will do an exercise to, a healing exercise to help us to, as I said in the email, let go of some of our attachments and make choices to align with our highest and in synchronicity with what's moving in the cosmos right now. Welcome, Amina Deb. Very excited to talk with you today. I believe you're going to put on your astrologer hat and tell us about the energies and what's happening in the cosmos right now that is of interest and excitement to us.
Yes, absolutely. And let me just say how I use astrology. I don't use it as kind of one of these predictive things. I use it to read energy in general. And there's, like starting today, Sunday, there is like just massive opportunities. And I think it's kind of like navigating any body of water. If you know which way the currents are flowing, then you can navigate them in a way that is a little more beneficial, and you're not at the mercy, and you're not sitting there, finding yourself, if you've ever been out and you're swimming in the ocean and found yourself caught in an undertow. You'll be able to actually go, oh, wait a minute, I heard about this. This is what's going on. And this energy is all that's happening is this energy is just yelling at me from the shore saying, hey, flip onto your back, float, and start kind of moving parallel to the shore. So if we know what that is, then we can make it through anything.
Awesome.
So let me go back briefly to the energy that opened things July 31st, August 1st, and August 2nd. Now we have Uranus, which is the planet of waking up. It's the planet and energy of freedom and connecting with our true self. It's about rebellion and revolution and innovation. And in Taurus is the energy of what we value, what's important to us, what we individually and personally need to survive and feel safe and secure, on a daily basis. And this, let me just say right now, this is different for every person. This is a very unique energy. Now, the last time that Uranus was in Taurus, collectively we were immersed in the energy of the Great Depression, the rise of Hitler, and the first half of World War II. Now, I'm not saying that we're going to go back to that. I'm saying that's the energy we've been in. We've been swimming in. We've been dealing with the apex of this all these years, for 80 some odd years. So what happened at the end of July, 1st of August, is Uranus comes along, trucking along, and it lines up, like sitting right on top of the North Node. Now, our North Node is our future. It's our future both individually and collectively that's calling us forward. It's that voice from the shore that's saying, hey, flip on your back and start going this way. That's the North Node. Now, the last time that Uranus was sitting on top of the North Node in Taurus was over 2,300 years ago. Let that sink in. Let that really sink in. We have a portal here that opened up that says there's an opportunity here to opt out. There's an opportunity to make another choice. Those of you that want to keep swimming in the old energy, and there's no judgment here. This is all very individual. It's very individual. It's very unique for each person, and it's going to show up differently for every person, sometimes vastly differently, sometimes slightly differently. So this is about ourselves and getting really in touch with ourselves and asking, well, wait a minute, what am I ready for now? What matters to me? Where do I want to go with this? But here's where it gets really interesting, to me anyway. So here we have this portal that got created, for the first time in over 2,300 years. Now, what happened?
2,300 years, did you say?
Over 2,300 years ago.
Okay.
So now what happened at the exact moment that this portal was created, here comes along Mars and goes through the portal. So on August 1st and 2nd, you have this portal created by Uranus, in Taurus, sitting on top of the North Node. Here's this portal, and Mars comes marching through and goes through this portal. Okay, what's Mars? Well, Mars is that part of ourselves. It is our ego self that makes choices and takes action. Now, there are 360 degrees in the zodiac wheel. And so you want to also look at the degree, because that gives information as well. So this all took place of Mars going through this portal at the degree signifying new possibilities that allow us to choose Mars energy where we flow freely and exuberantly in life. So that's what happened at the beginning of August. And if you want to think of it this way, it's kind of like Mars moving through this portal was kind of like Uranus and the North Node as it was moving through this portal that was created. It was kind of like Uranus and the North Node taking a pressure washer to Mars and just blasting off over 2,300 years worth of gunk and goo and things that have accumulated. That's what happened. So now we have a squeaky clean Mars that's trucking along, finishing out Taurus. So what happens today? What happens on Saturday night and Sunday morning? What happens that makes this all so significant? Mars.
You're talking about Saturday night the 20th and Sunday the 21st of August?
I am.
Okay.
So this is like happening now.
Yes.
Mars moves into Gemini. Now, why is that significant? Well, Gemini is all about making choices. It's about where we walk our talk and recognize our role in experiencing and playing with duality, these choices that we have, while at the same time seeking levels of higher consciousness. And so we've got these two things going on at once. We've got the undertow keeping us stuck, and we have the voice from the shore saying, hey, flip on your back and start moving parallel. Go this way. It's where we have the opportunity to take our prior experiences and lessons learned and apply that wisdom in life, knowing when to flip on our back, knowing and recognizing, that, we're moving parallel, rather than trying to swim out of the undertow. And so Mars is entering that. So we're entering this phase now, today, of making choices. But it even gets better than that, because Mars typically only spends about 5 to 6 weeks in any one given astrological sign. Well, folks, Mars is going to be in Gemini for 7.5 months. So between today...
Wow, so we're going to be faced with this opportunity to choose for 7.5 months.
Yeah. And so what's going to happen is we're going to make choices, and then we're going to go, oh, wait a minute, I'm not moving anywhere. I'm still stuck in the undertow. So we're going to have 7.5 months to play with choices and go, yeah, I'm not moving anywhere. I'm not going the direction I want to go. And so we're going to continually, between today and March 25th, 2023, we're going to have the opportunity to make a choice, see and feel what the ramifications are, and then choose again. And then play with that and choose again. So it's going to be, we're going to have an opportunity to really play with this. And it's going to go, we're just going to be in Gemini for this length of time because it's going to enter a retrograde phase. And all a retrograde phase means is this energy is going to be brought into our daily lives, up in our face. Hey, you're not going to ignore it this time.
Yeah.
You're going to...
I feel like this is really awesome news because I've been, and you and I have talked about this too, for a long time, saying that with all of this intensity that is surfacing on our planet and the polarization, the dichotomies that are in our faces, they're giving us an opportunity to really look at things that we may have taken for granted before or taken as, well, I don't really like it, but it's the status quo. And we're being forced to make a choice as to how we want to align our beings, what really aligns with the truth of who and what you are, and which direction do you want to go with this. So now it looks like, all right, this is coming to even more of an opportunity to really play with those choices and make the decisions, and you've got some time to work with this. And I think this is wonderful news, because we cannot continue, we cannot sustain the lifestyle that we has been a part of our, especially the things we take for granted. I think those are the things that have, in a sense, they've been the most destructive to our planet and to the way that we are with each other as a species. Those have been the things that we take for granted that we don't really recognize as an issue. Those have been the most destructive, right? What you don't see and don't recognize. So now we're having more of an opportunity to see it, look at it, face it, say, question it, and make some choices around it, see how that plays out. And we've got time, but not a lot of time. Not a lot of time. So we do need to take this seriously.
And here's the thing is, and I don't want people to sit there and hear this and go, oh, I've got time, I don't need to choose. No. Start choosing and playing with the choices, and then use these 7.5, almost 8 months. Start making choices today, and then see how they keep. Knowing that you can take a mulligan and choose again. But don't wait until the last. Don't wait and then choose. Because here's the thing. And you can't make this stuff up. And when you look at the energy in total, it's so beautiful and so wonderful, because these exact same degrees that Mars is going to be traveling back and forth over, giving us these choices on, Venus, and, Venus is the energy of, of where we clarify what's working in our lives and what isn't. It's where, where Taurus is kind of the greater picture of, kind of the out there and the people around us, what nourishes and nurtures and serves us kind of collectively and whatnot. Venus is that same energy, but on a much more personal level. She moves through these exact same degrees. Mm-hmm. But here's what's so fun, is Venus moved and covered these exact same degrees in Gemini during May and June of 2020. So think back on where you were May, June of 2020, when we were at the height of all of these shifts and changes and ramifications that really brought a lot of things up in our lives. Well, it just brought them up for us to see and deal with over the last 2 years. And now, starting today, we get to start making choices on everything we have learned about ourselves over the last 2 years, and about what nourishes, nurtures, and supports us personally over the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And I think that is just, to now then know that we have the opportunity and, to actually individually choose and take action on what we've learned.
Mm-hmm.
I think
so
beyond exciting.
Yeah, and it's very exciting, and there's a part of me that's saying, so I hope that we will really look at our opportunity here and recognize that, make choices. I'm hoping that we will all make choices that are for the greater good, that really look at, what are we really here to discover and to learn about. And I know you said it's different for every person. I agree it's different for every person, but I think there are some basic foundational, love, compassion, caring for caring for each other, caring for the planet. Yeah, we can talk about that. I guess, one of my passions is about compassion for all and sustainability for our planet. And I think the two, are go hand in hand. And I think that on the one hand, there is that the choices that we make, that, that we each have our own reality and our own vantage point of the reality that is created around us and in our own sphere, and that there is an impact on the greater good of all. So, let's talk about love, and then maybe we can touch on that.
Yeah, because this is really what has been coming through so strongly for me over the past month, because I'm right there with you on what is the love and compassion and what is in the greater good of the whole. But at the same time, the song that kept coming to mind was it's an oldie from Alison Krauss that says, sometimes love just ain't enough. And I want to talk about that for a second. Because if we're only focused on what is love, or what we determine and, of what is love and compassion and in the highest good of all, based on our minds and what we believe to be true, then to me, it feels like we're stuck in a tug of war against other people who think and believe differently. If to move into love, it's that old adage, airplane, put your own oxygen mask on first. If we first move into love and respect for ourselves and sit here and ask in the moment, what am I feeling? What feels true for me? What is self-affirming, nourishing, and supportive to me? And really standing in that, in kindness, in compassion, holding love for ourselves. But there's an openness then, because we're not fighting against anything. It's not our beliefs against somebody else's. We're just standing in what is true for us. Then the others have an opportunity to either engage with us or not. And if they don't choose to, there's no repercussions. We're still standing in that love and compassion and just being with ourselves, which is the pure essence of love, and allowing other people to have their individual journeys to do with it what they will and what's in their highest good, which may be to continue being trapped in the undercurrent for a while. It's not to me, it's not ours to judge. But if I'm standing in my truth, in my essence, which I know is rooted in unconditional love, then that creates a flow. There's no more tug of war. It's a flow. and it invites then others to join with the flow. And as others join that flow, then that can become a major current, which then encourages others to join the flow. Does that make sense?
Yes, it totally makes sense.
So this isn't, to me, this isn't, it's about loving those and everything that is outside of ourselves, but loving it without attachment and agenda, just holding general love and compassion from our place of centered authenticity and just unconditional love for the whole, knowing in our bones that ultimately all will join the flow.
Ultimately, God willing, all will join the flow. And that's a good question right there, one that comes up from time to time. I know, we've talked about it in my Sunday morning meditation and healing circle. After we do the meditation, we turn off the recording and have open discussion, and it's one of the things we've talked about is, so what about when, I am here with my own family now, which, I've been apart from for 36 years, and then moved home to live with my dad, who is about to turn 100 years old. So, with my own family, there are things that are, from their, cooking, for example. I feel very passionate about not engaging with anything that uses animals for food or clothing or animal testing of any kind that is in my feelings, my heart, my core of my being abusive to a sentient being on the planet. My family, on the other hand, is very much they're foodies, and they show their love and compassion for each other through cooking, and they're very much into the consumption of animal products, and that's that it's a thing that really it causes some inner angst for me, if you will, because I do also believe that that industry, the industry of animals as a product, has a horribly detrimental effect on our climate and our planet. Not to mention just what it does to the animals, but it's also killing, the planet and the contributing to our global climate change. So, and here's one of the things that, that we've talked about is okay, if you align your consciousness with this stream and you continue on that pathway of this stream, then, you're going to live out an existence. You're going to be on a energetically speaking, a trajectory that's taking you in one direction. If someone else aligns their being and their love and compassion on a different trajectory, they're going to play out. Will we still be living in the same, same sphere of consciousness, or will the spheres of consciousness, because of the vibrational shifts, will they split and will live in two different realities? Do you know what I'm saying there?
I do, and yes, it would not be possible for you to continue to live in the same reality. It's not possible. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're talking, this is per physics here. And I know that there's, that is upsetting for a lot of people to hear. And, but that's just physics. That's the law of physics. No, you're not going to be in the same reality. It's different levels of consciousness. But we don't know. And here's kind of the beauty of it. Because if we take a look at the situation you're in, we can also ask the question, how, being and living in that environment, look how passionate that has made you in terms of these beliefs. and in terms of really holding strong in that line of integrity and that pillar and polar strength. You had to, because you're living in it, it takes a lot more strength, a lot more courage, a lot more moxie and oomph and guts to stand there in the face of it and hold love and compassion and mercy while still living your truth. And because you're holding love and compassion and mercy and you're not fighting against them, you're just being you and making choices that are true for you, that are important to you. Mars's journey, for the next 7.5, 8 months. And, in Gemini, after being pressure washed, squeaky clean, that's what you're doing. But because you're doing it from a place of honoring yourself, honoring and loving yourself, of holding what's meaningful and important to you, but doing it in a way that's loving, it's giving your family an opportunity to join the flow that if you were fighting against, they would only fight against you. It's only going to intensify that. But because you're doing it from a place of the energetic alignment that you are, you're inviting them to join the flow. But you're not removing your love or your attention, or your involvement with them because they're currently not choosing that flow. But there will come a point where, yes, the realities will split. And that's a whole different level of choices. But right now we're not there. We're not there right now.
I do feel like Okay. So, I'm sorry, what was that last thing you just said?
So we don't have to worry about that split.
Okay, so we don't have to worry about losing our loved ones right now based on the choices we make. But we do still need to make the choices that align with what is at our core, what is true for us at our core, what really feels like the most loving, honest integrity of, the highest conviction that we feel in our bodies.
Exactly. Because let's talk about, that aspect of that statement that you made of, well, we don't have to be in fear of losing our loved ones right now. Okay. Let's talk about that for a second. Because if we go into the fear of that, and what is fear? F-E-A-R, false evidence appearing real. If we go into the fear of that, then that's going to color the choices that we make. And we're not going to be aligned with what is truly in resonance and what is true for our own personal integrity.
Yeah,
we're
so glad that you said that. I'm glad that you said that, because I think even, I know a lot of people, and myself for a long period of time, where I wanted so much to be included with family, with loved ones, with, significant others and everything else, that I compromised what I really felt in my being just to be the go-with friend. You know what I mean? Even though it didn't feel right to me. And so it took a long time, and I think for a lot of people it does. It takes time to really build up that level of courage to say, you know what, I'm going to do what feels right for me and what is true for me. And, if there is always that chance that you might grow apart, that you might not be able to coexist in certain circumstances. But if there is truly love and compassion and understanding there, you will actually go deeper and deeper in your relationship and in your love and respect for each other. So, there's
right.
Yeah,
and that's
opportunity.
Right, and that's what's so important for me anyway, to get across, that people understand the importance of what's opening today, is because now we have the opportunity to build that muscle, to build that courage that you have built over the years. Now that opportunity is being opened energetically, globally, for all of us. And let me go back to, to kind of, again, this question of, well, is there going to come a time when we're going to be separated from our loved ones? And let's talk about that for a second.
Okay.
That is a fear that is born out of our beliefs and our patterns and our training that have been ingrained in us over the past 2,300 plus years.
Yeah, our tribal instinctual breeding, if you will.
That's right. Because of this energetic portal that was created July 31st, August 1st, August 2nd, which Mars moved through on August 1st. Because of that, we're in new territory. We don't know. Our mind has no idea. These are patterns and potentials and possibilities we can't even possibly imagine, because we haven't ever been here before. So we don't know what, the question that comes up, oh my gosh, what is going to happen if I'm faced eventually come March of having to say goodbye to loved ones and separate and go, we don't really know what that might look like, because we're in totally new territory. So again, I would encourage people to not worry about that.
I have to bring something up here.
Yes, please.
If I may, and I just want to, maybe people can check in on this. As you're saying this and talking about this being new territory, what I'm feeling in my body is I feel like kind of on the inside of my pelvic bowl at the base of my torso, I feel that place of the tribal survival, tribal cling together survival instinct. I feel that letting go, and I feel my whole base and pelvic space opening. And that feels very freeing. And it feels like a letting go of a level of survival attachment that is perhaps not necessarily in the healthiest experience for my spirit. And it feels really good. So I just wanted to say that out loud, so just let people check in. What's happening in your pelvis? What's happening in your base? What are you feeling in terms of that tribal instinct, that fear of change, that anticipation of change? Let me take out the word fear, just the anticipation of change. What does it do for you and your body? And when you think of this shift that is on the horizon, how does your spirit or your energy body respond to it? And just tune in and listen for a minute to that.
Well, and at the same time, because the area that you're talking about is our sacral chakra. It's where we create. And along with that is
it's relationships too.
Yes, it's understanding that our root chakra is going to be, in a sense, anchored to something new that we've never experienced before. But the beauty of it is that, is that we're going to be anchored to something that is a higher octave.
Yes.
So we don't have to sit here and worry about that letting go of these tribal conditionings and these the being, releasing what we're holding in this pelvic bowl and moving into new creation and being rooted to something new and different. And the root chakra is going to be a more refined energy where we're not going to have the duality of right, wrong, left, right, good, bad. It's going to be more inclusive, and it's going to be a very, very different energy that we cannot even begin to fathom right now. We can't even begin to fathom what unconditional love really feels like. And this is what we are opening to, and what we are having an opportunity to move into. And I asked, and I really asked. I said, okay, so is this something that then we have to wait and we're not going to actually experience or move into until, spring of 2023? And
I vote no.
And the answer was no. The answer was actually the visual that I was given was more like popping popcorn.
Yeah, beautiful.
And just like in popping popcorn, when the kernel reaches a certain internal temperature, it pops into popcorn and becomes something totally different than that corn kernel that was sizzling in oil. And so what I was shown was that really what's going to happen is that when each of us reach that internal resonance, and not only reach it, but we're able to maintain it and hold it, that will pop into this higher octave of experience. And that early on...
I love that analogy.
Yeah, and that what we're going to start seeing and experiencing is just like popping popcorn, is there's going to be a pop, and then a pause, and then a pop, and then in a little bit it'll be a pop, pop, and then a pause and a pop, pop, pop. And that what is actually going to happen is once we move into March of 2023, that's when the whole frenzy of where all the kernels are going to be popping.
Awesome.
So we can each pop at any time, and it's our choice. Mars journeying through Gemini, covering the same territory that Venus did 2 years ago. It's when we're ready, when we make those choices and then continually make them, to the point where it's a place where we live. Kind of like the example you gave with your family. It becomes a place where we just live in flow and love and peace and harmony, with just an open invitation for others to join us as we will. And that means that sometimes, and I'm going to use you, if I may, as a perfect example, sometimes people like you, using this particular example with your family, you're there. You're maintaining that resonance. So in theory, you could pop into this other reality. But it is your choice, in service to the highest good of all, that you are holding back and staying in the experience that you are, while holding your truth and resonance, vibrational frequency, in that solid, coherent state. in order to give them a chance to heat up inside and pop. There's your service that you had talked about earlier.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And I can tell you it is also, there are many opportunities for me to clean old residue as well. I mean, it's Ram Dass that says if you think you're enlightened, go home to your family, right? And there's so much wisdom in that because it's certainly, to go back after so many years and be in the childhood home and in the old hometown, and even in my case, in the childhood bedroom. And, there's ample opportunity to clear the old residue. And at the same time, really, it's just to give the history, as I lived a lot of time in spiritual community. I have lived in a completely vegan life, vegan household, and all of that, and then to go back after being away for 36 years, there's opportunity to really clean the gunk off of the bottom of the barrel, if you will.
Yeah.
And yes, this has been an absolute beautiful experience because for the most part I've been able to just be with it from a place I can't imagine I would have ever been able to get to before. So,
Exactly.
We all have that opportunity to continue to build each other, strengthen each other, to build ourselves as we hold and love and support each other, and, to continue to see what is the divine, the universe putting in front of me right now, and what is the opportunity that I have, what's the reflection here, how can I continue to polish my mirror, polish the heart, and to increase my capacity for love and compassion, and, as you say, to let the insides cook so that this kernel can really pop, and, or just to be in the moment and to learn more about love.
And and you're bringing up a really good point, and I think it boils down to trust, and it is trusting that if we, no matter how firm we seem to be, in holding our truth and integrity and inner resonance and coherence, if we're still in the same situation and we haven't, in essence, popped yet, then trust that there's a reason why. Either there's something that maybe, we still need to clean a little bit, or maybe it's to be in service. We don't need to know. All we need to know, and you said it perfectly, is to just be in the moment and be aware of what is moving and just stay true to ourselves in each and every moment with whatever is moving. Knowing that on some level we're either we're still sizzling or we're bringing an opportunity for others to sizzle. Either way, there's perfection.
Yes. Yes. Well, I thank you so much, Amina Deb Lewis. I thank you so much for this, and I look forward to our next conversation that we can have. I think this is a good place for us to wrap, and for us as a group here on the Meditation and Healing Circle to take this into a practice.
So this is me, Mastora Deb, back with you live. Let's go ahead and take this into a practice. Just take some breaths and draw your energy into that vertical core of your body that we aligned earlier today. Lengthen and upright your spine. Breathe your energy into the vertical core of your body, and let yourself, as you exhale, drop down and land into your pelvic bowl. Really ground into your hips. Breathing all of your energy into your core. Exhale, drop down, land, ground into your hips, and take some breaths into your heart center. And let your breath, as it moves across and through your heart center, let it just increase the vibration of your heart center. Let it intensify the energy flow and the vibration, the light. Let it intensify the light in your heart space. And to turn your attention to your heart as with the intention of connecting with your heart as an inner compass. Your heart is your inner compass. It tells you when things are in alignment with what is real and true for you at the depth of your being, the core truth that you carry inside of you, and it tells you when things are not. But for now, just focus your attention there and breathe in and out of that space. It's kind of lighting up and brightening that inner compass. And I want to invite you to just, as we were just saying there, kind of call on your mind screen, or the screen in front of your projector screen in front of you, and call up what is in front of you right now, and ask for divine support. Ask for support from the divine realms and from your source to just put in front of you on your screen there, what is there for you to look at, to see in this moment? What is it that the divine would want to show you about where you have an opportunity, for exploration, where you have an opportunity to make choices that kind of test out what really aligns with your core truth. And you can pay attention to your inner compass, to your heart space, as this is projected on the screen in front of you. And just notice, because the compass will feel really lighten up, it'll brighten up, it'll feel free, it'll feel exuberant when something is in line with your core truth, and you'll feel it, or you'll feel that peace or that certainty, right? You'll feel it in your body. You'll feel it in your heart. And when something is on that screen that does not align, you'll feel that too. You'll feel it kind of wanting to go off center, or go kind of dampen or close, constrict in some way. You'll feel that too. So just notice what comes up for you on this screen in front of you. And notice the reaction of that inner compass. And breathe with that for a moment. Just let it be. And just notice, like any other places of constriction that come up in your body. Why have you been in this place with the having things in your sphere in this moment that are not aligned with your core truth, that don't light up the inner compass, right? Usually there is either a pattern that you've held on to, or as we talked about, the tribal connection and that need to stick together for survival, for safety, that fear of being cast out, the fear of rejection, the fear of abandonment, the fear that some harm may come to you, or a fear of change, just a fear of the unknown, not knowing what will happen. Just tune in and notice if there's a place in your body where you feel that, or just a knowing. Just see, is there something saying, yeah, this is a great time for you to choose cosmically, but you still have to live on this planet Earth, and here's a fear, I'm going to keep you safe. So just notice if any of those fears come up for you. Right? This is all about, how we've been hardwired for survival, for thousands of years. And we are coming into a new opportunity, a new dimension, a new degree of humanity. Right? If you kind of look at the planetary, the shift of the axis of the planet and how that moves, we really are coming into a new era of consciousness, right? Cosmically in that way as well. So as Amina said, we're entering new territory where these same attachments and same fears might not be so relevant anymore. Like, we don't know what the possibilities hold. We don't know that it's necessarily a dichotomy, an either or. That if we choose this, we lose that. We don't know that to be the case in the era that we're moving into. So just notice those places inside of you. And I want to invite you to just bring and call that unconditional love and compassion to those places inside of you that fear the unknown or fear what might happen if. That has been tied to the tribal attachments and survival instinct for so long. Just bring this love and compassion and recognition to those places in your body, and let them be flooded with love and compassion. Let them be flooded with love and compassion. And I want to call on the Archangel Metatron. The Archangel Metatron is the one who, as your soul was breathed into your physical form, wrote in your book, in your record, what your life lessons and soul purpose are about for your lifetime in this body. And when we call on the Archangel Metatron, Metatron can help us to burn away our negative thoughts, limiting beliefs, our fears, based on all of these what ifs and the unknowns. This is calling on the Archangel Metatron to help to burn away the fears of the unknown and to help us to light up on the inner that passion for love and that passion for purpose. And just as that fears burn away, let yourself tune more into the passion and the exhilaration of love that's in your heart center, in your core, and let that vibration of love, that passion for your divine purpose and divine connection, let that intensify in your heart and in your core. And as that intensifies in your core, just invite those places in your life that do align with your inner compass. Just invite them to line up right in front of your heart space, and let this power of this purpose and passion in your heart, just let it intensify as your heart aligns with all of the things in your life that do line up with your core truth. And let it intensify and just intensify the flame inside of you so that the fire really burns inside of you. And any of those things that do not align can get burned away by that fire in a very cleansing, aligning, freeing way. Just let it intensify the fire inside of you that aligns with your core truth and your soul's passion. And as that flame intensifies and that fire burns at your core, that fire of passion and truth burns at your core and intensifies, just let it burn away any of those things that are not aligned and not in sync with your core truth. This is an opportunity for you to make choices that align with your highest, your deepest passion, your core truth. And just know, let the feeling come up from within you. Let the clarity be just really ingrained in you as it burns away that which does not align and intensifies that which does. Let it release any mixed messages or confusion and rest you firmly into your core truth. Again, breathe all of the parts of yourself into your core. Inhale into your vertical core. And as you exhale, drop down and land into your pelvic bowl. And just ask for help from the angels, the prophets, the perfected ones, the saints, the guides, the healers, the teachers, the helpers, all who are here to support you on this journey. Ask them to just release from your entire field. Just release from your entire field everything that is ready to release. Just let it spin out. Let it spin and spin and spin. Let it spin out of your field and trust them to return it to its rightful place. And just let yourself feel the expansiveness and the freedom that you have in your own sphere. And let that fire intensify and burn brighter and get bigger and more aligned with your passion and your purpose. Breathing all the parts of yourself into your vertical core. And exhale, drop down and land into your pelvic bowl. Kun Fayakun, be and it is. Kun is the creator embodied in the light of creation. Kun Fayakun. Kun Fayakun. And I invite you to really trust. And over this next, I want to say over the next week, but actually over the next 7 months, really notice what are the opportunities you have and take advantage of every second of this opportunity that you have to test the waters on things that you're not sure about or not sure how they might play out or what opportunities they might bring for you if you choose to align with something inside yourself that has not been a part of the status quo or the popular opinion. And just know that you have space to play with this and don't waste the time, right? Make those choices, make some of the hard choices, the choices that have been difficult for you. Let them play out and know that you are in a big, giant cosmic playpen and you have like plenty of guardianship over this playpen and support and help for you. And you can like choose. Let it play out, let it wobble, see how it lands, and have opportunity for healing the places in you that you know in your heart you really want to align with, but somehow there's still a wobble or an incongruency in your field, in your body somewhere, in your psyche. Let this play out, let it have space, and let yourself feel the support of the cosmos during this time. And I want to tell you also that I am here to support you as well. If there's a place inside of you where you need support and you want some help with it, by all means, contact me. I do still am doing private sessions, and I would love to support you in your journey with this over this next time. We're not quite sure what the end of this time is going to bring. What's the consistency of the new territory, the new ocean we'll be swimming in. So play with this, take advantage of this time. And I'm going to go ahead and close this part of the call and open for Q&A discussion, anything that you want to share. I'd love to hear from you, your perspectives, what's moving for you, and any questions that you have as well. So with that, just let me close for the recording. For those of you listening to the recording, you're welcome to join us live on Sundays at 10 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time, 7 a.m. U.S. Pacific Time. We usually go about an hour. We went a little long today. We had a special guest. And to get information for joining us live, go to communityforconsciousliving.com, communityforconsciousliving.com. You'll find there, you can sign up to receive reminders and replays. And when you do, you'll be given a gift, a one sheet that has 10 spiritual principles of our human existence. It's a reminder to remind you of the truth of who we are, what we are, why we're here, what this life is about, help for us to keep things in perspective. And especially when we are faced with those choices that we are here to make and to test out in this giant cosmic playground that we're in. And I love the playpen analogy more and more now as I think about it, because of the edges and the dimensions, the 3 dimensions and the finite space, because that's really representative of what we're in as we're testing this out. But we're in the midst of a much greater infinite space that does not necessarily adhere to the same laws of nature. Cosmic rules, if you will. So you'll get that one sheet. You'll also get a 15-minute downloadable meditation that will help you to connect with that pure divine light, unconditional love, and eternal compassion, that, like what we do at the beginning of this. And I hope that you would make that a part of your daily routine to help you to stay connected, to help you to continue to intensify and brighten and stay tuned into this inner compass that knows the truth of who you are, why you're here, and what you're here to do, to be, to have, and to learn. All right. And with that, I'll end this recording and opening for the Q&A. Thank you very much.